thrill. High octane drama can't get our fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checkered flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed. You move to NFR.
Speed demons burning up at SKR, the league we love. Sunday at 6, engines flare up, adrenaline shove. Tight turns, the smell of gas, tires screeching loud. Thrill on the track, every driver make the crowd proud. Racers gunning for the top, no room for any slack. Pit stop strategies, teams got each other's backs. One wrong move, dreams could crash, a season turn to dust. Victory tastes sweeter when the stakes are a must. Rev up, SKR brings the drama. Highs and lows, no place for the comma. Checker flag wave, dreams come alive. Sunday at 6, see the legends thrive. Dashes, wheel-to-wheel clashes. Cold sweat under helmets, pressure till it smashes. Race by race unfolding like a thriller on screen. F1 kings and queens chase that victory sheen. Rivalries ignite, sparking flames on asphalt. Pushing limits, no regret, not a single halt. Missteps and miracles, heartbeat sequence speed. SKR battles fused with passion and greed. Rev up, SKR brings the drama. Highs and lows, no place for the comma. Checker flag wave, dreams come alive. Sunday at 6, see the legends thrive. Rev up, SKR brings the drama. Highs and lows, no place for the comma. Checker flag wave, dreams come alive. Sunday at 6, see the legends thrive. let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that middle. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
Lights out, engines roar. Sunday night, we want more. Speed kings racing on the track. Feel the thrill, no turning back. Drivers chase, the trophy gleams. 6 p.m, the race of dreams. Corners tight, they grip and slide. Feel the rush, take it in stride. SKR, we're racing high, burning rubber, reaching sky. Drama twists and turns galore. Speed kings racing, we want more. It stops fast, the team's on fire, chasing down their heart's desire. Highs and lows, we're on the edge. Feel the speed, no time to hedge. Rivalries, the fierce battles fought. Every move, it's match or not. Lightning fast, they glide and weave. All the fans, they can't believe. SKR, we're racing high, burning rubber, reaching sky. Drama twists and turns galore. Speed kings racing, we want more. Rivalries, the fierce battles fought. Every move, it's match or not. Lightning fast, they glide and weave. All the fans, they can't believe. SKR, we're racing high, burning rubber, reaching sky. Drama twists and turns galore. Speed
racing, it's a dream. Speed and drama every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Fernando calls the play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Now Fernando calls the play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter scene, in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see. In the quiet lanes of Silverstone town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
Sunday night, lights are bright, engines roar, take the flight. On the track, speed ignites, feel the rush, grip it tight. Racers fly through each turn, fierce and fast, rubber burns. Champions rise, lessons learned, victories call, hearts yearn. SKR, feel the drive, Adrenaline is what we need. Feel the speed, the thrill, yeah. High octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checker flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Welcome back to SKR. 6 p.m. Sunday afternoon. It's time for one thing. Of course, Season 10, Round 2. And it's a challenging race circuit. We're at Baku. Obviously, second longest race circuit on the calendar behind Belgium. Of course, the longest straight in F1 at 2.2 kilometers. It's got its quick bits, it's got its twisty bits. Judging by the skies above, could have some tricky weather down the road. I see a few drivers already getting out on track. I wonder if that is because rain is coming. Of course, if rain does come in this later on in the session, you're not going to have much of a chance of improving. Rain is on the way, everybody's out there trying to do a benchmark. Still a few drivers in the pits. Ready in the pits, Top Gun, Divan, Pantry Star, well it's Joe and Spikes. 18 drivers in the field tonight. Busy field. You want to see, but of course at a street circuit, busy field, things can get a little complicated. Some Some parts of the circuit, absolutely no runoff area, nowhere to make a mistake. Could have safety cars, judging by the skies, we could have weather. Script for tonight is far from written. Of course, when you have so many variables, a race that could potentially bring a lot of safety cars, a race where weather is not certain, like I've said before, quickest man on the racetrack doesn't always necessarily win the race. It's about being in the right place at the right time. And when it's time to take a gamble, it's about getting that gamble right. We're riding on board with Virus. I don't know why I do that. I always say riding on board and then I flick away to broadcast. There we go, now we're riding on board with Virus. No lap times on our screens just yet. Let's have a look at who is already on a quick lap. It's one of the drivers on a quick lap, one of the Kick Salbers. Of course, we're only going to have that Salber name in F1 for 2025 and 2026. It's going to disappear from F1. This team will become Audi. Of course, the team already 100% owned by Audi, but running the Salber name until the end of this year. Skull has retired from Quali. I'm not sure what that's all about. If that was a crash or if that was voluntary, I don't think it would have been voluntary. He doesn't have lap time next to his name, so that one's gonna hurt. Starting from the rear of the field on a circuit like this, never easy. This is still the Salber Sugar Bear. Of course, no lap times yet, so we've got nothing to judge off yet. We need those bankers. And there we go, we're starting to get some bankers. It's Ferrari, 159, first driver over the line. Harsh Bartoon, second driver over the line, 142, then a 150, oh goodness, 158.8 for Weeze. Say goodness, it's over a second there on the front row. Very impressive. Drivers don't always throw absolutely everything at it on that first run. So if he's got a little bit more in his back pocket, it's scary to think what that lap time could be. Seems like everyone is out on circuit with the exception of Smoke. He's just returned to the pits. I wonder if everyone just wanting to get that banker in case the rain does come. Lap times so far, front row, Weeze, and it's Ferrari, and oh my goodness, look at that. That is a big mess. Weeze arrived on it and absolutely had nowhere to go. We had 3 cars sideways in the castle section. Luckily, this is just qualifying. Of course, something like that were to happen in the race on lap 1 or 2 when all the cars are still so close together, it would be absolute carnage. Andre, for the time being, he's going to be happy with that lap. Look at that. On the second row, 140.7. It's a lot of work to do. It's Ferrari ahead of him, 139.9. And then Weeze, in a league of his own, 138.8. Pulling a Leclerc. I'm not sure who's pulling a Leclerc. Was it Skull that pulled a Leclerc? Let me know in the comment section talking about pulling a Leclerc. I know exactly what that means, but which driver are you referring to? To forget the famous radio message. I am stupid. I am stupid. This is Katosi in one of the two Alpines, his teammate Abmagozi in P10, 143.6. Kutaisi currently in P4, looking for an improvement. Of course, this is one of those circuits with some very overpowered DRS zones. Can be a bit of a hassle to break those DRS trains to get away from your opponents. Can't just rly on being 2 to 3 tenths faster than your opponents. If they've got DRS lap after lap, they just keep on pulling you back in. But according to this qualifying pace, as I said last week, it's going to be very important for the rest of the field to make sure that Reese doesn't come out of turn 1 in the lead. There we go, just some confirmation on the incident. It was an incident between, well, former teammates, Andre and Skull. Swerve from the one driver, reaction from the other. And unfortunately for one of those drivers, found himself in the wall. Sugar Bear in P7, 141.5, then very close to that. We've got Jan P8 and the first of the two Ferraris, then Harsh Cartoon. The second Aston Martin, his teammate up the road in P2. Nearest challenger 2 Wies, but still a way off. And we've got Jokits here, P11, that's the slowest of the timed runners so far. No lap time for Virus. Still waiting for lap time from Smurf and Divan. No lap time from Cooper, he remains in the pits. And we've had retirements from Levy, Pantry Star and Skull. All three of those retirements, no lap time set. As far as I understand it, of course, if you retire without a lap time, you're going to start from the rear. If you have multiple cars doing that, as far as I understand it, the car that lasted the longest in qualifying was the car that did the most laps in qualifying, even if they weren't timed. That driver will finish ahead. Even though you didn't get a lap time, you might still start in P16 rather than P18. This is Wies, current pole sitter. Saw him take pole position last week in SKR. We saw him take pole position last week in SAFRL, and he's looking to make it 3 in a row. It's 8 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, remaining just the one session. Remember, just 18 minutes. No Q2, no Q3. It's all about getting it right now. This is Wies getting close to the walls. It's looking a little jumpy there on the Williams driver. Keep our eyes on this lap. See his battery just discharging there. Definitely pushing. He's gone purple in sector 2. Said, did he have a little more in his back pocket? And if he did, that would be quite scary. Well, according to sector 2, he most definitely has a little extra in his pocket. Question is, how much? Current best 138.8. What more can he find? We wait for the time as he heads over the line. It's a 138.4. Found another 4 tenths. And I was expecting him maybe to shave another tenth off, maybe another 2. But 4 tenths. Well, everybody else in the field takes a deep sigh and scratches their head. Don't see such a gap on the front row very often. Fear not, it's Ferrari. It's not going to be done with this night just yet. A very quick driver who on his day can definitely match Wies. We saw it last season when they were teammates at Aston Martin. Finished P1 and 2 in that championship. This time round, separated across the paddock, one at Williams, one at Aston Martin. Would have been a little unfair to have that power duo 2 seasons in a row. Movement in the McLaren garage. Snoke stays in the pits. This is Gutozzi. Just slid up. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we can see a purple second sector for some reason. This is Gutozzi in P7. First of the 2 Alpines, remember, the other one, Apmagozi, in P13. Now we wait for this lap time from the Alpine. Does he pick up a position? P7. Doesn't look like he improved. Battery is discharged. That was a quick lap. You might think these walls are so close. Invalidated laps are impossible. Oh no, they're not. Of course, very long race circuit, so if you do invalidate that lap, very frustrating. Takes a while to get all the way back around here. Long racetrack with a lot of straights. Mess up that first run in the second or the third sector, you simply don't have the energy just to have a second run. You have to come into the pits. Of course, on shorter circuits like Austria and Brazil, can sometimes get away with just doing a second run. On a circuit like this, you seldom have the energy. It's Ferrari getting as close to the walls as he can. Now, I'm not sure if that was a little internet spike or if he just tapped the wall ever so slightly. Luckily for him, he's got all his end plates. Just a tap on the rear tire against the barrier of the castle section. Seen quite a few cars coming off there. Of course, notably the Charles Leclerc incident. Also remember quite a humorous incident with Nicholas Latifi around that corner. So it's Ferrari, currently the second best in the field. The only driver in the 139s and barely in the 139s at 39.9. We wait to see if he comes up with any sort of improvement over the line. We're looking for an improvement, and there's an improvement. We were looking at the wrong car. Cooper goes second best, 139.6, closes the gap a little bit, goes 3/10 ahead of its Ferrari, and he's going to have to dig a little deeper. But Weiss, for the time being, still seems untouchable, 1.2 seconds up the road from the nearest opponent. Seems like everyone's enjoying the qualifying session. Comments have gone very quiet. They were busy prior to qualifying. Absolutely nothing happening now. Silence. This is Divan. Currently just outside the top 10. For me personally, it's the worst place to start on any street circuit when you have a full grid starting in that midfield amongst all the chaos. You need to worry about not running into the cars ahead of you. You've got to worry about the cars behind you not running into you. I'd rather want to start at the front or the rear, preferably the front. At least from the back of the field, if there is any action, you're going to get a front row seat and the ability to avoid it. Taking a little bit too much curb there, Divan. The RB just getting unstable on the exit. Another purple. Seems to be a glitch on the game. We've seen a few drivers going purple in Sector 2, so don't read too much into that. We just got the back end of a spin there. Jan doing a fantastic job to hold on to the Ferrari. We didn't get a really good camera angle on that. But I was waiting to see a Ferrari in a wall when the camera finally changed. But he managed to keep a hold of that. Good job to Jan. The other Ferrari, Joe, 144.7. start in P15 for now. I think he will start in P15 because he's still in the pits, no more time. This is Wheeze, currently in Sector 2. That's right, it's a current pole sitter. The first lap was fantastic. Second lap was even better. But now he shows he's just not satisfied. Going out, try one more time. And how much can he possibly shave off that 158.4? It's Free, he's taken his P2. And Wheeze, well, that's just salt in the wounds. I thought I was reading that incorrectly, but that is a 157.8. He would have been briefly happy with just closing that gap up ever so briefly for a moment, but gap now at the front there, 1.6 seconds. Cooper and Spikes, good day for the Haas team so far. They're 3 and 4. They'd love to finish their second road. Riding with Divan in the RB, currently P5. Then we've got the two McLarens, Smurf and Andre. Of course, Andre involved in an incident earlier on in qualifying. He's lucky enough to be able to carry on with qualifying. Unfortunately for Skull, you see him there at the rear of the field. I believe that will be the order they start in, so Lady will start from 16, Pantry Star 17. I think because Skull was the first retirement qualifying, he's going to start right from the back. Of course, Skull, if you're listening, don't get too down. Like I said, I'm going to start at the front, and in some cases, it's a good thing starting at the back. If there is that action ahead of you, you can avoid it, and on a circuit like this, that action might just come your way. This is Smurf. Final run, is it? Opens up the RS. Doesn't seem to be discharging his battery. Nope, he's coming into the pits. Is there anyone else out on circuit? Just Harsh Cartoon. Keep an eye on his battery. That's a good sign of if he's pushing or not. I think Harsh Cartoon has called it a day as well. You can just see red light flashing on the back there. Means he's not pushing anymore. And that's the end of qualifying. Just the one quali session. That is going to be your starting field. Just wait for those official results at the end. What a performance by Wheeze. Let me know there in the comment section. Did anyone see that coming? Hopefully for everybody in the field, race pace turns out quite different, because if you have someone who's able to put that sort of gap on you lap after lap, well, the race is going to lose its drama at the front really quickly. Fourth place for Spikes. That's one of the two fast drivers. Great performance for... Oh, will you look at that? Tried to mute it and my screen went crazy. So there's your results. Wheeze taking pole position, and what a lap time, 1.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. It's Free in P2. I just noticed that Wheeze has picked up a 5 grid place penalty, so it's Free will start on pole position. Cooper P3, Spikes P4, Divan P5, Andre P6, then Smurf P7, Top Gun P8, Sugar Bear P9, and Katozi making up the top 10. Now welcome back. That was the fun and games of qualifying. That has come to an end. 6:25 and we're getting ready to go racing. Also, all the cars to the left hand side of your screen, don't expect to see any cars coming out of the garages. Everybody is in their grid box doing their final preparations. Haven't seen any information in the comment section. We did have Skull here earlier and he was one of the drivers. I don't think we're going to have any frightening weather in the race. I think it probably would have been spoken about by now, unless they're trying to all surprise the commentator. Of course, just a bit of a pause before we get going. It's just the drivers' opportunity to do their final touch-ups. What strategy are they going to take? What tyre are they going to start on? What do they expect really from that first 10 laps of the race? First of all, we're going to get a formation lap, so we're not going to be off straight away. Drivers will get one opportunity to fill this car with a full fuel tank, and last opportunity to prepare those tyres, prepare those brakes, make sure the car is in the best condition possible for turn 1. And quite a challenging turn 1. Of course, Baku been on the calendar for quite some time now. Still seems like a relatively new Grand Prix, but it's been on the calendar since 2016. Of course, one of the fastest racetracks on the calendar. The guys can commonly get speeds over 360 kilometers an hour on this circuit. Of course, that 2.2 kilometers straight with the help of some DRS. Already got 2 DSQs, actually more, 5 DSQs in the field. Fear not, those drivers will be taking part in the race. That DSQ is simply a DSQ from the formation lap, not the race event itself. That means they either went off circuit or drove into each other on the formation lap. That basically sends you to the naughty corner. What it does is immediately transports you to your pit box, where you will sit and wait for the rest of the field to arrive, and all the while the tires, your brakes, are cooling down at an alarming rate. And again, this game does not provide us with the best view of the start. We're going to have to wait for the camera angle to give us something a little better. Look at all the DSQs. Of course, if you see a DSQ in the middle of the lap, that's usually cars driving into each other or just having incidents in general. You see a DSQ right at the end here. That's a driver just not getting his parking right. Those are the red lights you hear. And soon we'll be underway. As soon as you see the smoke, there's the evidence. There we go, smoke, there we go, better camera angle. It's Ferrari into turn 1. Remember, he started on pole position, regardless of that incredible lap time from Wees, because he picked up a 5 grid place penalty. We've got Havoc at the back. We've got Havoc at the back. I mentioned the possibility of safety cars prior to the race in the comments, in the comment section. Well, you're not going to get a safety car earlier than that. Safety car on lap 1 of 26. If you're wondering who was involved in that incident, of course we just saw the Ferrari briefly. Didn't get the best camera angle of it because we were looking at the front of the field, then suddenly saw a Ferrari going across track. Looking now at that timing sheet, seems like 2 cars involved, Jan and Andre. Very, very early on retirement. So frustrating. That does give Andre the ability to watch the stream. Feel free, join the stream, tell me a little bit about the incident. And of course, if Jan is watching, if you're in the comment section, also let me know what happened there. We know Baku can be quite challenging. We know this field was quite large, 18 cars in the field. You've really just got to make your own space on those first few laps until things settle down. Unfortunately for everybody, they didn't even get to turn 3 before they all had to back off. To everyone watching the SKR and SAFRL streams on Monday and Sundays, been doing really well on round 1 last week. Both races doing particularly well. Thanks to all of you. Keep coming back, keep on watching the races. All of this would be pretty pointless without the viewers. Of course, we've hit that 700 mark and continue to grow. We're now on our way to 750. So if you haven't subscribed and you enjoy what you're watching, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification. I think in future we need to get the leagues Discord links here in the bio for the channel. If anyone then wants to contact these leagues with any interest in driving, they can then find it in the link. I'll look to add that for next week. Still under safety car. Safety cars can feel pretty lengthy around this circuit. Like I said, similar to Spa. This is the second longest race circuit on the calendar. Doesn't seem like the longest or second longest race circuit on the calendar because so much of it is at high speed. You tend to get around here rather quickly. Once you're under the safety car, driving at that safety car pace, can't nail it down the straights, open up DRS. Just have to drive around at this cruising speed, and all of a sudden you realize the length of this circuit. It's a lot longer when you're not driving at that racing speed. Spikes leads the way at the front of the field. Divan P2. Let's have a look at the tyre situation, something we haven't looked at. Seems like we're starting another lap under the safety car. Bringing up the tyres. See a situation at the back. It's Ferree and Ruiz. Both of those drivers have come into the pits. Levy also coming into the pits. A lot of these drivers utilising that safety car. I didn't think a lot of drivers would utilise the safety car on lap 1 unless they had some sort of damage, but it seems like some of the quicker drivers in the field taking the opportunity to come in and change tyres. Wonder if it was the right call. Of course, the entire field did not follow suit. Some of those drivers chose to hold on to track position. And this could make for some very exciting racing at the restart, because now you've got some of your quickest at the back of the field. Going to be Spikes at the front, Divan P2 at the restart. Of course, they've been behind the safety car now for a few laps. Spikes will start thinking about that restart. They'll be waiting for that notification. Of course, once the safety car notification comes up, you let that safety car pull off into the distance so he can enter the pits. You then become the temporary safety car. You pick up the responsibilities of the safety car. You decide when to restart. You decide when to go. Everybody else has to wait for your cue, and there can be no overtaking until the start-finish line. There is the notification I was talking about. Safety car will be in this lap. Andre saying somebody coming out of nowhere, there was contact, and the next thing he knew, he was in the wall. Need to be a little bit more cautious on lap 1. Agreed. Of course, certain circuits just a little bit more technical, just a little bit more of a challenge, and sometimes just got to drive within yourself for a lap or two, let things settle down. 26 laps, you're playing the long game. Spikes leads the way at the restart. Was that a Sauber going wide? I think it was a Sauber going very wide at the back. Was that Levy? May have been Sugar Bear. See, Sugar Bear's lost a few positions. He's down to P8. Spike still leads. Divan still P2. We've got Top Gun in P3. That's the first of the two Red Bulls. His teammate down in P10. Virus P4. Skull. Good restart to the race, but he's one of the drivers that did not utilize that safety car for a pit stop. Some of them held on to track position, others came in and pit. And then all those laps behind the safety car means the whole field came back together. Which essentially means, if you're in that queue and you haven't pit, once you do, the cars that did will have a entire pit stop advantage over you. So we're going to see towards the end of the race, if we don't see more safety cars, we may see gaps of 20 plus seconds. These cars are all out of sync with each other when it comes to the tyre stops now. We're under safety car yet again. And ladies and gents, or lady and gents, we're back at it. It's been a cause for a very interesting scenario now. What do you do? Especially for a driver like Atmagosi. He started the race on a set of soft tyres. Now surely he's going to have to come in and get rid of those. By the time this safety car is over, he could have 5 or 6 laps on those softs. Not much life after that. Such a complicated scenario. Glancing at the comment section, Andre saying, been practicing the whole week for this. Didn't finish turn 1. Does happen. I've seen it happen to other drivers. I've experienced it myself. One of the worst feelings. Of course, something that happens in motor racing every day in real life. Some of these guys fly all the way across the world, do their practice sessions, do their quali sessions, gets to the race, crash in turn 1, and it's all over. All the travel, all the flights, all the practice, probably all the sim time, and all for nothing. So we are back under safety car conditions. If you left a little earlier and you've just rejoined and you're thinking, wow, that's a long safety car. No, it's not. We didn't really make it to turn 3 before the first safety car was activated. We got back going, but before we could finish that lap, the safety car re-emerged. Of course, that initial incident triggered the first safety car. That was between Jan and Andre, a Ferrari and a McLaren. This second incident was triggered by Virus, just the one car, so I don't think that is an incident between drivers. That may have just been a solo incident going into a wall. I think it's very possible around this circuit. It was just at that restart. If you haven't heated up your tyres quite yet, brakes aren't ready quite yet. Find yourself side by side with someone else. You think, right, I'm taking this position. And you just take a corner. In a way, you would take it if your tires were up to temperature. You don't get the grip you expect. And you have a tank slapper. So we started with 18 drivers. We're on lap 6. We're down to 15 drivers. And we're in our second safety car. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. The limit on safety cars, I believe it is 5 a race. I'm not sure if that is 5 safety cars including virtual safety cars, or if that is 5 apiece. Hopefully get that 5 cap and there won't be any more than that. Even better, hopefully there's no safety cars after this. Of course, round 1, no safety cars. Fantastic race from start to finish. This time round, very different race. So frustrating for the drivers. Of course, it'll be frustrating for the drivers that have retired so early on. But they'll be sitting back. Some of them will have switched off their PlayStation in rage. Some of them will be sitting back watching the race. The drivers on the track right now, those drivers, they're going to be feeling frustrated. Because you do all the practice. And now you're sitting driving around at slow speed without the ability to overtake. Complete opposite of what racing is. And that first safety car took forever to end. And before you could even get your tyres up to temperature, you looked up at your screen only to find yourself in yet another safety car. Lap 6 of 26, within an hour. Start to expect that notification. There we go, notification up on the screen. Called that 150 closely. Safety car in this lap. Spikes. He led the field at that first restart. He's going to get a second opportunity to lead the field at a second restart. Some of those drivers, Wheeze, it's free. I said it was going to be interesting to see those quicker drivers coming through the field, but they've already picked up a few positions. They're actually P9 and 10. Keep your eyes on those drivers. They're going to be coming through the field, or at least they hope they'll be coming through the field. Quite a dangerous field so far. We get going, hopefully this time, on lap 7 of 26. It's Spikes, Divan, Top Gun. Then we have Skull, Cooper, Sugar Bear, Victosi, Wheeze, Pantry Star. Wheeze already making up a position. It's Free down to P10. Then Afmagozi 11, Levy 12, Harsh Cartoon P13, Joe 14, and Smurf making up the field back at the front. Well, it's all about the horse. Spikes defending from Divan. Top Gun P3, Skull P4. This is a sort of race that can be so interesting. Of course, we had the 2 safety cars. If you carry on having safety cars, preferably not that close together, but if you carry on having safety cars throughout the race, it just keeps this field together. Even the quickest drivers, well, they can't get up the road, just tied down. We've got a caution. Been a pretty lengthy one, but everybody still seems to be driving at full speed. And we've got a virtual safety car. Said looked like everyone was driving at full speed. Apparently not. Tozy picks up a 3-second time penalty. Like I said in qualifying, you might think at a street track invalidated laps are impossible. Gonna cut a corner into a wall, but there are still many places where you can cut the circuit. Virtual safety car, we've had 2 full safety cars, and now a virtual. It's so difficult for the drivers just to get their head in the game, to get their focus. Primarily what you want to be doing in a race, focusing on your braking point, and you're focusing on your next apex. Just want to get into that mood, And once you start making a few overtakes, things start feeling really good. Confidence goes up, you start making more of those overtakes. But in a situation like this, it's impossible. That build-up of confidence, that getting into the groove of things, you just can't. Every time you think it's time to get things going again, the game tells you, slow down. It's been a pretty lengthy virtual safety car, but DRS is enabled as I say that. So we will get going. Spikes, Divan, Top Gun, Skull. I think if you had told Spikes just a few laps ago that would be his third restart from the front, he would have believed you. Divan P2, Top Gun P3, Skull P4, then Cooper. Good result for the Haas team so far. One at the front, the other one hanging on to the top 5. Then Sugar Bear in P6, bit of a gap forming there. Weeze in P7 continuing to come through the field. Remember, he was P9 then P8, so he's already picked up 2 positions. He's bringing its Free with him. It's Free in P8, so those two continue to make up positions and they make it look easy with that superior pace. But remember, regardless of superior pace, even if you're 2 seconds faster than the rest of this field, you still need to come through this field effectively, pick up damage, make an unnecessary pit stop, and that could be the end of your afternoon. At the front, Spikes still doing all he can, holding on to the lead, doing a good job for now. He'll be looking at the leaderboard. He won't have the entire leaderboard like we do. We can see everybody in the field. When you're driving, you typically see, I think it's 2 cars ahead of you and 2 cars behind you there on that list. So he won't be able to see Weeze just yet. He'll be looking on that timing sheet and thinking, where is he? Is a win in sight? Once he starts to see Weeze's name coming up the field, the alarm bells will begin to ring. Divan not letting Spikes run off into the distance. There's a bit of a gap now. Skull in P3, so he's made up a position. But a big gap between P2 and 3, 2.7 seconds. Now Weeze up into P5. Past Cooper, into the top 5. And he's got Top Gun in his sights. Not too far up the road from Top Gun, just 4/10 up the road in fact is Skull. The 2 positions right in front of the Williams driver. One of those cars also his teammates, so I don't know how much of a battle he's going to get from Skull. 2 drivers out front, they've got a 3-second buffer. With this sort of pace, how much will it help? Divan, fastest lap of the race in P2. With the help of DRS there on the straight, thought about going around the outside. Good defense from Spikes, holds on to the lead for now. But of course, as those 2 battle for the lead, it's just going to bring the rest of the field closer. And it's going to make things a little easier for Weeze. Don't think he needs any help, but he'll take any help he can get. Divan has got ahead of Spikes now. Spikes in P2. Of course, so difficult to defend over a long period of time on a circuit like this. Some very powerful DRS zones. You can defend for a couple of laps, manage your battery well. If you don't manage that battery well, you're not going to be able to stay in front for much longer, no matter what line you take. No zigzagging. And make that one move in the braking point. Divan still out front. 1 second. He's actually getting away from Spikes. Let's have a look at that Haas. Is there any damage? Any visible damage? Doesn't appear to be the case. Divan just on pure pace, getting up the road. 1.1 seconds. Maybe he's listening to the commentary in the background, and then he'll know how important it is to get up the road. Weeze P5, and as I say that, you see the time. He's so close to the Red Bull ahead of him. And he's not close to the Red Bull anymore. He's ahead of the Red Bull. So Williams 3-4, Skull P3, Weeze P4. Let's not hope for a disaster between the teammates. It's not a common occurrence, teammates driving into each other. Probably the last driver in the field you want to drive into. You don't want to drive into anyone. Driving into your teammate just adds injury to insult. Divan still out front, Spike still P2. Gap has stabilized somewhat, 1.1 seconds still. Hasn't changed since the last time we checked. 2 Williams, fantastic job, 3 and 4. You can already see Weeze clearing away from his teammate. Watch that string of cars into the castle section, such an iconic part of the race circuit. Of course, when Baku joined the calendar, street circuits were still relatively unique. We had Singapore, Baku, and of course Monte Carlo. Today many more street circuits on the calendar. Miami, Vegas. Of course, one street circuit nobody ever talks about. Nobody even refers to it as a street circuit, but it is. It's round 1, Albert Park. Remember, about 70% of that circuit is accessible to the public every day of the year besides the Grand Prix weekend. Just a small section of the circuit that's actually closed off to the public. That includes the pit complex where the F1 paddock set up their stuff. The rest of the circuit is open to traffic, and Albert Park itself is a popular picnic spot on weekends. Of course, street circuits becoming a lot more popular than purpose-built circuits. So much easier to not have a venue that you need to make sure is making money for you the entire year, and just set up a temporary venue for the weekend, and when you're done you take it down. Don't need to worry about your facility being unused. When Formula 1 is not in town, it seems to be the more popular choice at the moment. At least amongst F1 administrators, not necessarily amongst all fans. But that's definitely not the worst of them. Many drivers really love Baku, some not so much, others absolutely love it. Riding on board with Weeze, he's got past Spikes and now made his way up into P2, surely not on this lap. He's coming from so far back. At a point I thought he might go for it, but he's not going to wait much longer, is he? Weeze into the lead of the race. Lap 13. I think this is the first time, ironically, he's seen the lead of the race. Remember? Got the pole time by 1.5 seconds. Insane lap. Unfortunately for him, he picked up a 5 grid place penalty. He had to start in P5. Then we got that safety car. He came in, put on a new set of tyres, which sent him right to the back of the field. Needed to come through the field and eventually get to the P1 that he should have qualified for. It's taken him 13 laps. Comment section going very quiet. Let me know in the comment section who's your favorite for the race. Do you expect any more safety cars? Or is Weeze going to be allowed to drive off into the distance? That's a 1 second gap, so he's almost broken DRS to the man behind him. Once he does, may all be all said and done. We're going to have to go look for action lower down in the field. Speaking of more action lower down in the field, Levy 0.2 of a second behind the Red Bull. 0.1 of a second behind the Red Bull. That's It's not the place you want to make an overtake. Would have been really brave. Would have been worthy of any highlights reel. The Sauber driver not doing anything crazy. That opponent actually came into the pits. Celebi into P5. Next challenge will be Skull up the road from him. Skull having a very strong race here tonight. Of course, Andre saying he put in a lot of practice. If that practice was side by side with Skull, then it's definitely showing on the Williams driver's side. Andre was not able to show his pace. Didn't get very far. As for Skull, having a very strong race so far, holding on to that P4. Not a lot of penalties in the field, just that 1 3-second penalty for Gatosi. Of course, when you get these invalidated laps, a lot of people think of corner cutting. Sometimes it's rather on the exit, just using too much of the racetrack. It catches the drivers out more often than not. But some of these outside curbs, you really can't take more curb, because you're going to find yourself in the wall. Wheeze from Divan from its Ferrari. Skull P4. Levy, another car on the move. Remember, he was 2.7 seconds behind Skull at a time. Now 1.3 seconds. The gap coming down quickly. Got a caution flashing up on our screens. Has it disappeared? It did briefly, but it's come back. There we go. It's gone. Hopefully no more safety cars in this race. Everyone will be hoping just to get to the end. Safety car coming out right now. Mess with everybody's pit window. Of course, in an ideal situation, you want to sit it on the grid at the start of the race, put in your strategy, and the race goes exactly according to that strategy. But in a race like this, those two safety cars taking up the first few laps of the race, changes everything around a little bit. Of course, if the stream is lagging just a little bit, I do apologize from my side. You can see a few red flags here on the computer, so if you are getting any sort of stuttering, any sort of lag, you should be able to rewind the stream by a minute, and that should sort out all of your problems. Wheeze leads the way. It's Ferrari P2. Was that what I think it was? I'm not going to say anything yet, because I might be seeing things. But I thought I saw something, but surely not. And that's why you don't announce things. You wait for confirmation. Lap 15 of 26. Still a long way to go. Things have really calmed down in this race. At the start, looked like it was going to be an absolute madhouse. We had 3 retirements in the space of 4 or 5 laps. Since then, no more retirements. I've seen a few drivers in the pits for front wings. So not everybody getting absolutely clean laps. At least for now, the retirements have stopped. Wheeze at the front of the race, probably where he thinks he deserves to be. Remember, started what should have been starting on pole. 5 grid place penalty, giving himself a little bit of a handicap, giving the rest of the field a little bit of a chance. And made a pit stop on lap 1, gave the rest of the field even more of a chance. Now he's back at the front. Said earlier on he was bringing It's Ferrari with him, and It's Ferrari's done a fantastic job to stay with Wheeze, come through the field with Wheeze. He's not able to hold on to him right now. 2.5 seconds the Williams driver up the road, coming through that field. Just followed Wheeze through. Levy in P3. because all these names were scattered because of the madness of the safety cars. But now, in the second half of the race, quicker names starting to form, starting to see a more likely field. Skull still doing a fantastic job in P5, and he's just done a pit stop. He's actually done a pit stop, a recent pit stop. Still a few cars ahead of him need to make a pit stop, so he's going to be even closer to those leaders. 2 Red Bulls, 7 and 8. The RB in P6, we've actually got an RB racing ahead of both Red Bulls. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come in 2025. If RB ever built a better car than Red Bull, well, I think that would be a pretty easy fix. Marco would simply walk down the pits and say hand it over. This is Sugar Bear in P9, Osh Cartoon P10. It's the second Aston Martin holding on to the final point. Smurf 11, Top Gun 12, Cooper 13, Atmagozi still holding his own in this race. Great to see his internet holding together. We've seen so many times Atmagozi running at the back. We go to look what is going on and we find that car unfortunately ghosting, but this time around still very much in the cockpit of that car, looking for a little bit more misfortunes up the road that may elevate him into a points paying position. Two seconds is the gap. Was bigger, it went up to 2.5, so it's free, holding on. This would be even more interesting scenario if P1 and 2 were on different sets of tires, but they are on the same set of tires, and those sets of tires have the same age. Really think it's Ferrari will probably just follow Weeze around until the leader pulls the trigger, comes into the pits. For the time being, it's Ferrari is picking up a lot of time on the leader. I wonder if Weeze is just struggling on those medium tires. Gap came down from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds, and now all the way down to 1.7. .9 seconds, so Weeze just responding, trying to open that gap up again. Now it's Ferrari, could put 1 lap earlier than Weeze, try and pull off the undercut. Judging by the way he was losing time in sector 1, I wouldn't be surprised if a pit stop is around the corner. Keep our eyes on these leaders. 16 laps on a medium. Remember, these drivers got on these mediums basically on lap 1. As predicted, Weeze comes into the pits. It's Ferrari. Expected him to follow the leader into the pits. He's chosen not to do that. Chooses to stay out. Probably going to do 1 lap longer. Don't know if that's going to pay off. Hopefully it does. I think he knows he needs a little extra, he needs a little roll of the dice if he's going to find himself ahead of Weeze with any sort of comfortable gap to win this race. Might not be able to do it on the racetrack. He's going to throw the dice in the pit garage and hope for the best. That gap 15 seconds between it's Ferrari and Weeze. Pit stop generally takes around 20 seconds to be safe. Can be a little shorter than that. We've seen at some circuits 18 seconds even. And well, that's going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Lap 19 of 26. We thought things were starting to settle out. We thought things were starting to take shape and the quicker drivers were finding their rightful positions. And now all of a sudden, everything has been thrown up in the air once again. Of course, all the gaps that have been built up in the field will be cancelled out. Everybody's going to be in close proximity of each other once again. Once DRS switches on, we're going to have incredibly long DRS trains with just a handful of laps to go. And in my experience, that sort of situation can lead to even more incidents. Sometimes you'll find yourself in a situation with a driver that you simply know is much quicker than you. Maybe you won't put up the fight as much, but if you know you're that close together and there's only 2 or 3 laps to go, you might do something crazy. You might go on the brakes a little later. That belief kicks in, and you forget about the limits of the car. But for now, we're driving around at a cruising speed of the Aston Martin. Everybody's going to have to catch up to that safety car, form a queue. We're going to do a few laps behind the safety car and then we'll get going again. Of course, I don't need to explain the safety car procedure to you. I think you are all rather familiar with it at this point. Now, if you look through the field, majority of the drivers on the medium compound, a lot of those medium compounds very, very new. 1 lap, 2 laps, 0 laps. We've got Skull in P3. He's already got 5 laps on those mediums. Maybe he would have liked to have put, but that's what happens under the safety car. Sometimes you're just on the wrong part of the race circuit. Everybody else can utilize that safety car. By the time you get to the pit entry, you can't utilize the safety car for a pit stop because you're already in a queue. And that'll send you to the back of the field. Andre commenting, Skull on fire, and yes he is, look at that, in P3. The only concerning factor for him in the back of his mind is he's got 5 laps on those mediums. So by the time we get to the end of the race, drivers around him, they'll have 6 or 7 laps on their mediums. He'll be driving with 12 or 13 lap old mediums. So hopefully that doesn't make too much of a difference and he's able to hold on to that position, or at least fight for that position. What a performance it would be for Williams here in round 2 of season 10. Of course, all the safety car restarts up until this point have been led by spikes. 2 safety cars we saw before this and the virtual safety car, they were all led off the line by spikes. This time round, we're going to be led off the field by arguably the quickest man in the field, at least according to quali. He hasn't been able to really demonstrate that superior pace in the race, because every time you get some sort of a gap, safety car comes out, closes up the field, and by the end of the race gives you this illusion that everyone was very, very close together in pace, and rather it was just the safety car ensuring nobody gets too far up the road. Of course, Formula 1 still feels like it's a long way away. Pre-season testing at the end of February, then round 1 in March. Of course, MotoGP also making a return on that final weekend of February. Motorsport drought will continue for at least another month and a half. I think everyone watching this channel is looking forward to getting back to Albert Park. Of course, one Aussie has fallen off the lineup. That was Danny Rick. Now, of course, Oscar Piastri. Also have Liam Lawson, that's also his neck of the woods. Not quite Australia, but I'd say he's from down under, from New Zealand. Don't think any New Zealander would like being called Australian, so apologies to Liam Lawson. It'll be an interesting season for that man. Of course, he's had 6-7 races at the RB team. Tsunoda gave him a really good run for his money. This season, he's going to get somewhat of a teammate upgrade. And hopefully, it's not going to go the ways of Albon, Gasly, Fiat and all the other drivers that have been dropped by Red Bull. We're still under a safety car, lap 22 of 26. Not too much action out on track to speak of. Obviously everyone has done their pit stops or held on to track position. Those choices have been made and locked in. If you chose to hold on to track position, it's too late now. If you make a pit stop, you're going to come out right at the back of the queue with just 3 or 4 laps remaining. That can throw the race away. Sometimes it's just a few moments when that notification of the safety car comes out. Some drivers, they're going to be right at the pit entry when it happens. They make a quick choice, they dive into the pits. Other drivers might be right on the other side of the racetrack and can't use that safety car as effectively. We're still under safety car conditions. Luckily, when this safety car is done, not going to be that much more time in the race. I think we should be pretty safe with saying that this will be the last safety car of the evening. I think for Skull there in P3, he wouldn't mind the race finishing under safety car. P3 be a fantastic position, but he'll look up on his timing screen, he'll see who's behind him. It's Levy, one of the quicker drivers in the field. The car will be in this lap. We should have 4 laps to go when the field gets going. Of course, we're not technically safe, we're only safe when there's 3 laps to go, so if anything goes wrong at the restart, could potentially get another and then 1 lap of racing. Hopefully everybody keeps a cool head at the restart. Remember, this is probably the most dangerous restart of the race. It's only a few laps to go. You're going to find yourself much closer. The quick drivers that are usually far up the road, you're going to find yourself wheel to wheel with them, and with the possibility of beating them, knowing you'd only have to defend that position for another 2 laps. I sometimes get a little bit braver than you'd usually expect. Everyone looks pretty calm into turn 1, all the cars pretty well spread out. Don't see any carbon fiber flying around. Katosi and Smurf, they've swapped positions, but again, no carbon fiber. There's a car going slowly at the back. Car going slowly at the back. It's Joe Kitsia, but he is on the move, so just a yellow flag. We get going again. Weiss leads the way. It's Ferrari in P2. Skull has been able to hold on to that P3 at the restart, but he's going to be under heavy pressure from the green car behind Levy in P4. Spike's P5. He led the race for a good long while. In fact, he had to do all the work leading the race behind the first 2 safety cars. See the gap there to Levy from the rear view of Skull. Gets away at the acceleration, but then into the brakes you just see how much closer that Sauber gets. The defense right to the end, eyes on the mirrors, battery management, so important. And folks, I said it was a possibility. I said it was a possibility. I said we weren't technically safe. And well, that technicality has come true. It's lap 23 of 26. This is the 4th safety car of the race. Of course, we had a virtual safety car amongst all of that. It's going to be very, very interesting. Depending obviously on the length of the safety car. I don't think it's going to be a particularly long safety car. We didn't get very far. So the field should still be very close together. Within a lap, everybody should be close together. So hopefully we'll still get a 2-lap sprint to the end. If we have the regular 3 laps, that means we're going to have a 1-lap shootout at the end. The view from the driver in P2. That's what I mean earlier when I said the fastest driver doesn't necessarily win. Weasel's the fastest driver. He's had a fantastic race. He's come through the field effectively. He's leading the race. All he needs to do is get this restart wrong. And all the preparation, all the flashy laps in qualifying, all the overtakes in the race, and that race win can be thrown away just by a mistake at this restart. We've had 5 restarts. Just need to really mess one of them up. A few laps to go, currently under safety car. We'll be starting to think about that restart. We'll be thinking, hold on, I can see the safety car. There's only 2 of these cars in front of me. Is it time to dream? If you're gonna win the race, well, win it from Wheeze and it's free. That'll be a result you can brag about for quite some time. 10-second penalty, severe collision. Somebody's picked up a penalty. I think that wasn't Katosi. Maybe it was Cooper. Somebody has had a big collision with Sugar Bear. I'm going to presume that's Cooper. He's picked up a 10-second penalty. We did in that time get a notification that the safety car is coming in. So that would be the end of lap 20, or the beginning of lap 25, which means we're going to have a 2-lap sprint to the end. Luckily now I can confirm there's not enough time left in the race to have another safety car. So this will be a race to the end. Just 2 laps to go. And look at that, the entire field, all 14 cars in the same frame with just 2 laps to go. We've had an insane race so far. Multiple safety cars, so many incidents. Drivers coming from the rear to the front, lots of overtakes. Now we're going to have to start one more time. The guys haven't had enough. Wheeze leads into turn 1. Lebby not wasting any time. He wants to take P3 and he wants to take it now. He's done so. But I think Skull just ran out of space there on the outside of the track. He may have just given a slight bump to the wall. He's got past Lebby. So Lebby got past Skull, then made a mistake of his own. He's now behind Skull. Spikes has inherited P3. Skull right there. Looking to get past the horse. Wants to get his P3 back. There's a podium around Baku. Very impressive performance. But these two are going to have to fight it out right to the end. The problem is the tyre situation that I mentioned during that safety car. Skull's tyres are going to be older than everyone else around him. So there is that possibility that in these closing stages he might just be slipping around a little bit more than everyone around him. Andre saying Skull is on fire. Yes, he is. In P4, 3/10 of a second adrift from Spikes. Those top 2, they've run away from the field already. 2.9 seconds ahead of the field, those top 2. With 3/7 of a second behind Wheeze. Keeping our eyes on this battle. It's the battle for the podium. Spikes versus Skull. 3/10 of a second between the two. Go to the lead battle. It's a battle of 4/10. It's free. getting as close as he can. Will he think of it? No, not yet. He thought of it. He was on the inside. He even hit the brakes a little harder than he'd like. A little bit of a lock-up. We saw the smoke. Wants to get as close as he can. Open up DRS. Preferably in the very last DRS zone available on the circuit. Don't give Weeze an opportunity to come back at him. For the time being. Just can't get enough done. Remember, the driver ahead, while he can't open that rear wing and get the use of DRS, he does have ERS available. There's the battery that you manage throughout the race. If you've managed it properly, when you get to the final lap, you've got a lot of extra to defend with. Divan, 3-second penalty. Penalties creeping in now towards the end of the race. This is your leader. Sverre, 7/10 back. Looked a lot closer. That gap now starting to form. Levy, he's got back into P3. Spikes P4. We've lost Skull. Skull down the order. He's in P8. Fortunately, we didn't see that. We were following that battle for so long. We went and had a look what happened to the leaders. Skull has made an error somewhere. He's down into P7. Levy P3, Spikes P4. This driver here was a favourite for the race at the end of qualifying. Got that penalty. Made an early pit stop. Thought for a moment, maybe not tonight. But he's proved us all wrong. He comes over the line. It's Sverre, just 3. Make that 0.2 of a second behind him. So those two, throughout the race, close together, throughout the safety cars and the pit stops. Finishing the race 0.2 apart. Levy, he finishes off the podium. Death Queen just giving us some late confirmation there. That was front wing damage to Skull's car. Levy picks up driver of the day. And now we quickly mute for copyright purposes. F1, very greedy. Now wait for those official results. Brief look at the podium. Weeze took the victory. He would have started from pole, but he got that penalty. It's Sverre. He did start from pole. He finishes in P2 with the fastest lap of the race. Levy finished up in P4. Levy P3, then Spikes P4. Sugar Bear, good performance at the end of the day. P5. Top Gun P6. Then Smurf P7. Harsh Cartoon P8. Katozi P9. And Pantry Star making up the top 10. Points on the night, oh so close. Afmagozi P11, then Divan P12 with a couple of penalties. Rather a few penalties, 13 seconds. Skull ended up in P13, what could have been. And then Cooper, right at the back in P14. We had retirements from Jokatsia, Virus, Jan, and the first one to go was Andre. The end of another race, reached the end of another race on this channel. Surprised to find out there's something like 125 races in the archive on this channel, so we've been doing this for quite some time. And today was a race that probably some could have predicted. I was already talking about the multiple
Speed demons burning rubber, SKR the lead we love. Sunday at 6, engines flare up, adrenaline shove. Tight turns, the smell of gas, tires screeching loud. Thrill on the track, every driver make the crowd proud.
When that safety car came to an end, we weren't even able to finish that lap before we got the second. So, very challenging race.
Racers gunning for the top, no room for any slack. Pit stop strategies, teams got each other's backs. One wrong move, dreams could crash, a season turn to dust. Victory tastes sweeter when the stakes are a must. Rev up,
concentrating on the next round. course, we have a quick look at the season 10 calendar. There we go, round 2 we've just completed that. That's Azerbaijan. We go from the second longest race circuit on the calendar to the longest race circuit on the calendar. Next week we will be in Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps, Radion, Eau Rouge, all that, all the famous corners, all the famous landmarks.
Sweat under helmets, pressure till it smashes. Race by race unfolding like a thriller on screen.
On the calendar.
F1 kings and queens chase that
I think my
victory
music
sheen.
just went off. Apologies there, my music did just go off. It's doing what it wants now. Obviously, the Drivers' Championship and Constructors' Championship have been updated since then. These are results after round 1, so these results will change. Wees was leading the championship. He'll continue to lead the championship. We saw he won that race. It's free. He picked up P2, so he'll go up into P2 in the championship. And then in the Constructors' Championship, Williams, RB, Red Bull, Aston Martin, and Kick. Of course, those results will all change when round 2 results finally do filter in. We now at least have a race tomorrow night, of course. We all return to NFR, we return to SAFRL. But then, quite the stretch. I think it was Ubuntu who said in the comment section, it's a bit of a stretch between races. No race on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. So we'll see if we can get another race in somewhere in the middle of the week. And of course, it'll be great if you guys join us for that. I want to thank everybody who watched, everybody who returns to the stream night after night. You guys are the best. You guys are the reason I do this. And of course, if you're new, remember to subscribe. Remember to hit the notifications bell so you don't miss an upload. And if you've been here many times before, well, remember to hit the like button. And I hope to see you again. I'm going to just allow 1 or 2 minutes to see if anybody wants to join the Discord server. If not, I'll be back to say a final goodbye.
Can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR. NFR. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush. NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR. High octane drama can get our fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On
Welcome back, everybody. To those of you who are still here, thank you very much. For all of you who joined, everyone who left a like, everyone who has subscribed, we're trying to get to 750 subscribers. So if you haven't done so, please do. And of course, going to be back with all of you tomorrow night at 8. Rather, not tomorrow night. I just got that wrong. SAFRL has moved to a Tuesday night slot, so we'll see you on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Until then, thanks everyone. And you can enjoy a bit of music if you'd like.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So Mr. George, with his heart on his sleeve, in the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
Feel the speed, the thrill, high octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checker flags waving, champions arise.
Town. Folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
Let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, 'cause when it comes